God, I'm here for a reason. I know you've got me here for some reason, but I'm lost. I don't know. I was trying very hard to do what I was supposed to do.
Tired, weary, frustrated? What would you be doing if you weren't raising children alone? What's stopping you from living your best life now? On SoloMoms Talk, I discuss with solo mothers the challenges you face raising children alone. So if you're a working solo mom dealing with independent children, insensitive bosses, weight and health issues, or even debt collectors, join us as we discover your path to get and stay healthy, increase your income, and live with joy and purpose.
In this battle of life, it's hard to keep your head above the water. So win this fight.
My guest today is Mary Welp. Thank you for coming and talking to me today, Mary. I appreciate you.
I'm happy to be here with you today, Jen.
Thank you. Before I start, before we get into what you do, could you tell us who Mary is?
Gosh, first thing Mary is a mother and a grandmother. That is the first thing I am. And then the next thing I am is a healer. I've been working in doing body work for over 20 years, doing Reiki and craniosacral therapy and acupressure and different ways to get the body balanced and aligned and to work with the body, the mind, and the spirit.
Okay.
So I've been doing that and hypnosis for a long time. So that's who I am professionally.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And what got you into body work? A lot of times there's a reason that we get into healing, right?
Oh, I have kind of a dramatic story in that I was 40 and I'd never had a massage. I'd never been to a healer. I didn't know, heard the word chakra. I didn't know we had energy in our bodies or that we produce energy. We mirror energy. I didn't know any of that. I was completely oblivious to that world. And I had been kind of a walking depressive for a few years. I realize now I was taking care of my family and getting up every morning, but I wasn't a happy person. My father had passed away and I didn't know how to grieve. You know, our culture doesn't tell us how to grieve. And I was very depressed. And I literally kind of had a come to Jesus moment and fell to my knees one day where the burden was just too great and cried and cried and cried and surrendered and said, you know, God, I'm here for a reason. I know you've got me here for some reason, but I'm lost. I don't know. I was trying very hard to do what I was supposed to do, to, you know, have my children turn out to be who they're supposed to be in society and what culture expects of us. And I just wasn't really addressing who I truly am and my happiness and, you know, being in my groove. You know, I was way off track. I was off my path in a big way.
Yeah.
So after I surrendered, all this work came to me pretty quickly, just as fate will have it.
Wow. You know, you were listening, right? You weren't trying to do it all on your own. You were saying, I need help. So the help came, right?
It did. You do have to ask. And again, I didn't know that. I didn't know what to do. I was so stuck and I had been stuck for some time. So, to now be who I am fully. And even though my kids tease me and talk about my voodoo, you know, it's all good because I'm happy and I'm helping people and I'm doing what God put me here to do.
Yes, and that should bring happiness, I expect. Yeah. All right. So is that what the R.I.S.E is? You have a concept or framework that you use called R.I.S.E. Tell us about that. And is that a result of your newfound self-discovery, if you will?
Yes. Well, this newfoundness happened. I'm 62 now. So this all happened when I was 40. So I've been doing body work with people one-on-one and helping them through their challenges in life for over 20 years now.
Okay.
So when the pandemic happened, my office closed, and I started to think of a way that I could get some of the work I was doing one-on-one with my clients, get it out into the world and to teach more people. So that's how R.I.S.E came to be. And now I'm teaching it in workshops, and I've written the book, and I'm just trying to help people realize that they don't have to be stuck, that they can, shift their way of thinking. They can shift their habits and their fears and their imprints. And the more they realize who they are, the more they can work with what they have and be happier people.
Okay. So, how can you help those of us who are stuck? I mean, you are helping yourself, obviously, and with enough fortitude to know that the rest of us could probably use some help. So
I think we all get in that place at least once in our lives, if not many, many, many times. Yeah. And I think we need to have a tool that when, we get an offender bender, or when we get triggered, or when somebody's ugly to us, that we can still kind of maintain ourselves, that we don't give our energy up to a negative situation. And so that's really what I'm trying to teach. And the way I do that is by helping people realize the first thing is our brain's job is to keep us safe. So when we walk into a room, we will always look for trouble. We will look for the judgment. We will look for where things aren't safe. Who's saying what about me? Who thinks what about me? Is this a safe and a happy place to be? And we are always scanning for that.
Right.
So realizing that sometimes we can kind of question our thoughts a little bit more. That because we think something doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Right.
So to really question, is what I'm thinking positive? Is it really a truthful thing? And is it a helpful thought? And if it's not a helpful thought, how to shift it. And so the way I do that is by teaching people a practice that is part meditation and part self-hypnosis. So you go into a very relaxed state. R stands for relax in R.I.S.E. And then you imagine a beautiful place like the woods here or somewhere where it's beautiful. And then you do your work. You look at what challenge you have and you shift it. And then E stands for empower, where you feel and you receive really the benefit of the work that you've done. So that if you really aren't being triggered as much, or you're being a happier person, a less angry person, or whatever the issue is, you'll be more authentically you. And you can also start to really look at your thoughts and shift them a little bit to what's more productive for you.
All right. Sounds complicated, but I see the simplicity of it.
Good.
If you understand
well, and
that.
If you would like, Jennifer, I can talk you and your listeners through a scenario of R.I.S.E, and you can feel it for yourself if you think that's appropriate.
Oh, I think that's very appropriate. So have it. Thank you.
You want to do that? Okay. It takes about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So if everybody could, who's listening to this, that would like to participate, turn your phone off, close your door, find somewhere where you can be quiet for a few minutes. Again, it won't take more than 15 minutes. It's not going to be all day. If you're seated at a desk, I like to put my head in my hands because I have a heavy head, because you really want to get as relaxed as you possibly can. So work on that for a few minutes. I'm just going to talk while everybody's getting comfortable. And also lying down is a great thing too. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to talk you through this guided imagery, and just follow my voice as best as you can, and just do what I'm saying as best that you can. And if your mind wanders or goes somewhere else, that's okay too. Your subconscious picks up what you need. And what this meditation is intended for is to get out of any blocks or challenges that are in your way. So if you want to name to yourself what a block or a challenge, let's just start with one that you know you have, that you would like really this energy to move. You are done with blank. Do you have something in mind, my dear?
I do.
Okay. Okay. Then everybody else does too. So that's what we're going to work on. So when we get to the imagine part and I talk about your challenge or block, it's going to be because now that you've named what you want to move, energy knows that's where it goes. We're going to go move this issue. Okay? So the first thing I'd like you to do is take a deep breath. And on the exhale, really feel your body in the seat that's supporting you. So whether you're laying down and you feel your back, or you're seated, feel your back, your seat, and the back of your legs where you're seated. Maybe also get in touch with your feet that are on the floor, or maybe they're, like mine, are on part of my chair. Wherever your feet are, just get in touch with that part of your body. And then take another deep breath, and on the exhale, I'd like you to close your eyes. Or through a soft gaze. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, that's okay too. But just let the focus be fuzzy. You know, don't focus in on anything. Just have a very soft gaze. And now I'd like you to imagine and begin to think about having a pool of warm, relaxing energy swirling around the base of your feet. So it's just moving. It's kind of doing figure eights and circles, and it's just swirling around. And on your next inhale, as if there's a valve on the bottom of your feet, just allow that energy through the valve, open it up, and let it come into your feet and your ankles, deeply relaxing your feet and your ankles. And then feel that energy begin to move up your shins and your calves. Maybe let it pause at your knees for a moment and relax your knees. Allow it to flow up into your thighs. And then allow it to flow up into your hips and your pelvic bowl. And give it a moment just to collect in your pelvic bowl. There's many layers of tissue there that need to soften and relax. And just as you allow this energy to swirl around your hips, feel that relaxation really starting in your bottom and your hips there, wherever it's touching surface. Just feel that tissue so that it's not holding you up. It can just let go. And then on your next inhale, feel that energy move up into your abdomen, relaxing all of your digestive organs. Relax your respiratory diaphragm. Let your breath be less labored and more even and relaxed and calm. And then let it spill up into your lungs, filling your lungs, healing and relaxing all that tender, soft tissue of your lungs. Let it circulate around your heart, relaxing the muscle of your heart. Let the energy pool on your right shoulder for a moment. Let it just gather and gather and gather. And then let it spill down your right arm, coming out the fingers and the thumb of your right hand. Just allow. And then your left shoulder. Allow that energy and that relaxation to gather at your left shoulder. And when you feel like it's really mounded up and that left shoulder is really full of this relaxing energy, then allow it to go down through your left arm and out the fingers and thumb of your left hand. Then relax your neck, relax your throat. Allow the relaxation to come up over the top of your head, even relaxing your scalp and your hair. Relaxing your face and your jaw. letting everything go, letting all relax. And then I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye, just imagine for me a beautiful grassy field. Maybe this is somewhere you've been before or somewhere you create now in your mind's eye. But just look down at your feet and notice the ground that you stand on. Notice what type of dirt it is and if there's grass or exactly what's under your feet. Feel the sun on your face. Look up and notice the sky. Is it blue today or are there clouds? Do you feel a breeze blowing? Do you hear any animals in the grass? Now at the edge of this grassy field are some woods. So I'd like you to begin walking over to the woods, and there's a path that goes into the woods, and you're going to just start walking down this path. And as you do, I'm going to count from 10 to 1, and you're going to get more and more relaxed with each number that I say, and you're just going to take a nice, easy walk back into the woods. So 10 to 9, take that 8th step, 7, 6, feel your knees loose, limp, and relaxed. 5, going back further into the woods. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're in the woods, and you notice in front of you there's a big hole in the ground. And around this hole in the ground are boxes. And these boxes represent your challenges or your blocks right now that you are ready to surrender. And you're ready to let go of, and you are ready to bury in the earth. Sometimes we know what these blocks are, and we know the components, we know where they came from, we know all about them. But sometimes there are other things that we can't quite name. We don't know how they came about. We don't know why we're hanging on to them. We can't even name what they are. We just know that there's this energy, there's this thing that's keeping you back. Those are also represented in the boxes. So your job is to walk around this hole and knock all of the boxes into the hole. You can use your hands, you can use your feet, you can get equipment out if you want, but whatever you need, I want you to get those boxes into the hole. And I'm going to be quiet for a few minutes while you do that work, but again, be very thorough, look everywhere, knock all those boxes into the hole. Keep working, don't stop. But we're all on different times here. We're all processing at a different rate. So don't stop this mission until you're done. But if you are done, and when you are done, I want you to bury them. So start moving the dirt that's around the hole over the boxes and burying them deeply into the ground. So you can get out a shovel. You can get out a bulldozer if you need. Whatever you need, move all that dirt over the hole and bury the boxes deep. And again, when you're done in your time, don't let my voice rush you. But whenever those boxes are buried and the dirt is mounded up, I want you to get up on that mound of dirt and stand there in the superhero pose. See your fists on your hips. See your back very straight and tall. The crown of your head pointing towards the sky. Your feet deep in the ground, really grounded there. And there's strength in your legs. And there's strength in the core of your body. So feel the empowerment of the energy that you've just moved. And consider Now that that energy has moved, how is your life going to be different? The next time this issue comes up for you, and it will, you will be tested as to whether you've really moved this energy or not. What will you do in response? How will your response be different than it was before? And when your response is different, their response also will be different. You will be held, they will shift as well because of your changing and your responding differently. So also consider the shift that will eventually happen in those around you because you no longer have this challenge or block in your life. And then feel gratitude and feel pride for working on your best self, for putting your best self forward, for taking these few moments to really ground yourself and go through a thought process that will help you be happier and healthier. And then when you're ready, come back to really feeling your feet on the ground, feeling your hands and your fingers, and coming back to the place where you are now.
That was awesome.
How did that feel for you?
I feel like something I should be doing.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
The image of the boxes surrounding the hole was very, kind of resonated.
You could see them?
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah.
So go back to this, use this scenario, use this rise that we just did, that is 4 parts. So the 4 parts, you have the relaxation, which we talked about, that warm energy moving through the body. We imagined the grassy field in the woods. We put the boxes in the hole. We covered it up, and we felt the empowerment from that. Yes. So you can do this with any other issue as they come.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thanks,
Good
Mary.
for you doing that work.
Well, now I keep doing it with the audience. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yes, and you should. Well, Let me tell you, Jennifer, since you brought that up, in September, I'm going to teach people how to do this so that they can work with their audience and with their group. So if this is something you would like to learn how to do for other people and guide other people, or any of your listeners are interested in that for themselves or for their community, please reach out. And that'll be starting in September. It's going to be virtual, so it'll be online, and it'll be a couple of Sundays, a couple hours on a couple of Sundays. So, keep it going.
Yeah. Yeah, this should be useful to I'm sure, a few people at least. All right.
Well,
Thank you,
I think
Mary.
all of us deal with self-esteem issues and negative self-talk. So this will help with that. We all struggle with that.
Yes. And is this why does this keep happening? Maybe it answers that question for some of us, I think.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Kind of get into the root of it and pulling it out.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thank you for that. So what is Mary grateful for today?
Oh, I'm grateful to be with you. That was really lovely. And I'm grateful to get to spread R.I.S.E. I wrote the book. It's on Amazon. Okay. And so that came out last month, and I'm really grateful for that because it gives people a tool in their hands. And I really want to help people not feel stuck. So that's my passion these days. And so I'm always grateful when I get a chance to talk about it and share it.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. And how can we get in touch with you? We know we could go on Amazon
my website. The book, and then and there's the information, the contact information in the back of the book, but also my website, R.I.S.E hypnoticmeditation.com. There's also some other sample guided meditations. There's one for patience, one for peace, one for guilt, that's already recorded on the website that people are welcome to use those as well.
Okay. All right. And we'll put those links in the show notes. And any
Thank
social, are you on Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram, it's also R.I.S.E Hypnotic Meditation.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So you've given us more than normal than we would normally get on this show. But I'm still going to ask you to give us one piece of advice for a solo mom struggling, with something.
Don't believe everything you think. Don't believe all the worries. Don't believe because just being a mom in itself, we always worry. We always, because we put our children ahead of us. They're our gifts. So pay attention to what you're thinking, and ask yourself whether, one, it's true, and two, whether it's purposeful. And if it's not, shift the thought, reprogram the thinking, because you're doing a wonderful job, and your job also is reflected in your children. So the more happy you can be, the more peaceful, the more present you can be, the more your kids are going to reflect that as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Welp, for coming and speaking to me today, and not just speak, but also giving some value and what that we could use. Yeah.
My honor.
I'm excited to share that SoloMoms Talk is now on YouTube. Check out these interviews on our new channel, SoloMoms Talk TV. There you will actually see the interaction between myself and my guests. You will also find bite-sized clips of daily inspiration to help you manage the struggles of everyday life. So click SoloMoms Talk TV below to watch now.